Hey there, my name is Sage, and you are watching D&D Daily. Today I'm doing a blind stat block reading of the Witherbloom Apprentice from Strixhaven's Curriculum of Chaos. Deep in the fog and muck of the swamp, the students of Witherbloom College, first as apprentices, then as pledge mages, study the cycle of life and death. Their magic is fueled by what they call life essence, the ubiquitous energy that runs through living things. Witherbloom students learn how to concoct magical potions and talismans in addition to their spellcasting studies. Their magic ranges from necrotic shadows and withering bursts of poison to flourishing bursts of plant life. The Witherbloom Apprentice is a medium or small druid of any alignment with an armor class of 13, 44 hit points, and 30-foot movement speed. They have a +0 to strength, +2 to dex, +1 to constitution, +1 to intelligence, +2 to wisdom, and +0 to charisma. They have proficiency in constitution and wisdom saving throws, as well as the medicine, nature, and perception skills. They have a passive perception of 16, they speak common in any 2 languages, have a challenge rating of 2, and a proficiency bonus of +2. Their first ability is regeneration. The apprentice regains 5 hit points at the start of its turn if it has at least 1 hit point. Their next ability is Verdant Talisman. At the end of a 10-minute ritual, the apprentice can touch one willing creature, including itself, and bestow upon it a small talisman imbued with magic. Upon receiving the talisman, the creature gains 10 temporary hit points, and it can add 1d6 to its initiative rolls while it wears the talisman. These benefits last 1 hour or until the apprentice conducts another ritual to bestow another talisman. When the benefits expire, the talisman crumbles to dust. Moving into actions, we have Briarvine, which is a melee spell attack with +4 to hit, a reach of 15 feet, it hits one target, and on hit does an average of 7 piercing damage, +9 poison damage. If the target is a large or smaller creature, the apprentice can pull it up to 10 feet closer to itself. The apprentice comes with spellcasting and cast Druidcraft and Spare the Dying at will, and once a day can cast Pass Without Trace. And finally, we have a reaction called Wither Burst. When the apprentice sees a creature within 30 feet of itself drop to 0 hit points, the apprentice channels the expended life essence and targets another creature it can see within 30 feet of itself. The target must succeed on a DC 12 Constitution saving throw or become poisoned for 1 minute. While poisoned in this way, the target takes an average of 3 poison damage at the start of each of its turns. The target can repeat the save at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. The fact that we have Wither Burst, which only activates when somebody goes to 0 hit points, meaning the more creatures on the field, the more likely we are to be able to activate this, as well as the fact that Pass Without Trace affects you and many allies, this stat block is meant to have teammates. Now that gives this stat block a lot of flexibility, especially the Pass Without Trace, because what it's essentially saying is this stat block adds somebody with Pass Without Trace to whatever party you want, which is pretty incredible. And it gives it a ton of versatility. I can see this being the leader of a gang, and it casts Pass Without Trace, and then you and a bunch of CR1 half thugs can run in and go attack. So we have a low to mid-level combat there. Alternatively, it could be with a much larger gang, and it can be the servant towards a much more powerful creature, and it just enables the ambush tactics of the squad. So it can be used in much higher difficulties, including as high as the game goes, so it's a very versatile stat block in that way. Adding more to the versatilities, it's actually really great for the party. I can totally see this being a forest guide or any sort of guide where you can cast Pass Without Trace to help the party get through a dangerous area. Between Verdant Talisman's extra hit points, regeneration, and the fact that your basic attack only has a 15-foot range, unlike many of the other apprentices who had 60-foot range, so it's a big difference. All those things put together tell us that we're more of a tanky frontlining mage than we are a backline archer mage, so pretty different than the other apprentice stat blocks. What's pretty nice about our basic attack, Briarvine, is that it pulls without a saving throw. So that, again, leads towards an ambush style where I can see, using Pass Without Trace, that Vine Whip, you get the hit and you rip a teammate away from the rest of their allies to be swarmed by the rest of your squad. I'm pretty surprised at how much utility we can get out of such a simple stat block. It really does have a use case at any level of play, and I think that's pretty cool. And it goes to show that when you have a support-based stat block, it lends to a lot of flexibility. And at the end of the day, if you ever want a close-ranged tanky caster, well, here you go, look no further. This has been the blind stat block reading of the Witherbloom Apprentice. We are D&D Daily. We release new D&D content every single day, so if that's interesting to you, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you tomorrow.